The roses on my house are blooming year-round. Maybe not roses, maybe flowers. Hello my dear gardeners, and today in this video we are going to look into the story behind my Ukrainian house in America. Let's begin. You know, the tradition of painting Ukrainian flowers is a very old one. The territory of Ukraine was populated by very often people of the land, people who lived off the harvest, and a lot of times people lived in wooden households. Houses were usually made out of wood, and then the exterior was covered with clay. And clay is a very good medium to paint on. People could not afford to have expensive decorations made out of wood or glass or ceramics, so that simple, humble floral painting design, which could be painted in one day, was easily used, and people did love bright colors in Ukrainian homes. When you look at the interior of households, you see a lot of brightly embroidered towels, icons. Ukrainian stoves were richly decorated. So the same with the exterior of Ukrainian homes. And my parents live in the Carpathian Mountains. A lot of households in the Carpathian Mountains are made out of wood, those wooden, very characteristic wooden houses. And the paints which were used on the exterior, were majority of them were made out of water or eggs or milk. And very often those beautiful decorational elements are lost. They didn't make it to our days because being exposed to the exterior elements, those paints would wash off very quickly. Those designs will wash off, and sometimes they had to be repainted several times a year. But my flowers on my house are not painted on clay, they're painted on wooden shingles. And when we bought this house approximately 10 years ago, and we had to change the color of the house, I thought to myself, how about painting Ukrainian flowers on my American home? And so it came to be. I went into the store, I bought several paints, I was mixing them together, and I went for something bright and cheery and happy. I painted both sides of the front window, and then several years later, I decided to paint a simple floral vine to go around the door, since my husband is of Irish heritage, and he wanted our door to be really bright green. He surprised me one day, hoo-hoo. So one day I saw that our door is bright green, and I decided to match it with beautiful floral vine, probably with Christmas berries going around. So my flowers are staying on the house year-round. And you know what, there would be time when we would need to change the color of the house again, and maybe these flowers would be gone. But we are enjoying our design on the windows for many years already, for 5-6 years, something like that. And some of the paint started to chip off. I probably would need to touch up, especially the design over our garage is getting a little bit old, so maybe next year in spring I will be doing the touch-ups. But our flowers are living, and a lot of people who are passing by for the first time, I look at them through the window and they kind of stop and they take a picture, and I'm thinking, interesting, for somebody who is used to very typical American households, suddenly they come across a painted house, you know. What do they think? Very unusual, right? But I think people like it. So how I did it? I didn't do any stenciling. I did it free hand. I had fun time choosing and looking through these designs, the old designs of Ukrainian households. And painted houses were not as popular where I used to live in Ukraine, where my ancestors are coming from, in Western Ukraine. They're more popular to the middle of Ukraine, southern Ukraine, where people used a lot of clay. And clay with its nice warm undertones, those brown undertones, are so good to be the background of brighter design, right? Just look at this design, how wonderful it looks on this beige brown background. And people in Ukraine didn't only use paints, they used different color clays. So when suddenly in the village a very skillful artist would appear, suddenly all the houses in that village and in the villages around would have colorful paintings on the houses. Unfortunately, majority of those beautiful artistic pictures of everyday life lost, since those paintings are exposed to the elements and to the sun and rain, and they wash so quickly. But here are several wonderful examples of what people did with their households. And you know, even the most poor of the house could enjoy flowers and could enjoy that beautiful white space and nice way of living, you know, that colorful way of living. So this is the story of flowers in my house. Happy gardening. I will see you next time.